And I'm not saying that people can't get married within a short period of time, but just make sure that you've done your due diligence so you don't become a victim of this hospice wife.
If the woman found herself in that position and knows that, you know what, at the end of the day, I've got dosh. If this guy passes on, I'm young, I can always move on to another person.
Because they're going to have needs too. You can always buy in the services of additional care. They don't mind, but the thing is, did you go into the relationship to be a carer?
Yewande, how are you?
I'm very well, Babashola.
Hospice wife.
Hospice wife. Have you heard that term before? You've never heard it?
Never.
In fact, it was one of our viewers that brought it to my attention.
This is what I love about matters of the heart. I get educated.
We get educated.
Yeah. Hospice wife.
Hospice wife. Yeah. But I want to bring it from a perspective of what does hospice mean? Hospice is a very Western term because we don't have that in our own culture. In Nigeria, we don't have. In the Africa, we tend to look after our old people. Hospice is a place that people go to literally get looked after when they're in the latter years or they have a terminal illness. Hospice, hospice is more when you have a terminal illness. It's homes. We have something called homes for the elderly here in the UK and other parts of the Western world, where you take your elderly parents because they can't look after themselves anymore. They need a lot of attention, and the children don't have the means or time to take care of them. It's a little bit sad.
Mostly time, because the means is expensive.
Yeah, it's sad in my opinion.
It's not,
because like we are going to be older one day. I don't want to go to no home. I want to stay with.
And you know, I hope we've been able to. I'm sure our children would know that our lifestyle and our upbringing and bringing them up is not for us to be dumped.
Well, let me tell you what I'm planning. Me and my husband. We're not planning for any children to look after us. We're making plans for ourselves. So now the world has changed. A lot of it's considered a burden actually for a lot of young people. So we have to face the reality that they might not be there for us. It is what it is. So please, let's start planning. Hospice wives.
I agree.
So you're an older lady in your middle years.
Okay.
Potentially looking for your Romeo, somebody you're believing for wedding. As you know, we girls, we like wedding and marriage. An older man is approaching you.
Okay.
He's love bombing you. You know what love bombing is? Presenting you with gifts, affection. I know we had a talk about that. You see, Babashola's body language has shifted. And there's nothing wrong, but be wary. My ladies, be wary. Don't take it. Oh, he loves me. He sends me flowers every day. Sends me chocolate. I think I've done a TikTok about love bombing. If it's too good to be true, sometimes it's too good to be true. So you're serenaded with love and affection, and you're thinking, Lord Father, you have answered my prayers. I found my Romeo. Not knowing that Romeo has health challenge. He has played the field potentially when he was younger, possibly been a papano, and then he's lost his wife and the side chick or whatever. And then he's sugar daddy. Because he's now found out that he's got a terminal illness or he's got diabetes, high blood pressure, just a whole heap of complicated health issues.
I see where
the side chick has taken off and the wife can't take no more. The wife has gone to be with the children abroad to help them look after the children or whatever. So he decides that I'm still a good looking man. I'm still a man of means. Let me catch one of these desperate women. And you are not desperate, but you have to come up. You have to do your research. So the woman is serenaded, gets married to this man, has a beautiful wedding that she's always wanted. Less than 1 year, the man starts showing signs of sickness.
Wow.
And then she ends up being like a carer
Ooh.
Maybe the body parts that she thought was exciting was only being propped up with Viagra for one night.
Wow. Hence the tag, hospice.
Housewife. Hospice wife.
Wow.
So, what says that? The whole lesson in that.
Do you blame the man? The man had.
I don't blame the man.
He had a go.
He had a go, but this is why we always talk about doing your research, ladies. That's why we said do your research, because sometimes, because we desire marriage, and I'm talking to us ladies now, sometimes we bypass some processes. You know, when I met my husband, I asked about his previous relationships, and I was ready to go and talk to some of them with his permission. Oh, the ex-girlfriend, the ex-wife knows some things that you don't know. You don't always have to even ask permission. You just do your due diligence. And sometimes, I remember my mom, she told me that when my dad had a new relationship, and I still have that mother-in-law till that stepmom till this day. She's actually English, white English. And my mom said, she said my white English mom, which we're very cordial, said, thank you, came to my mom and said, thank you for giving me Matthew. And my mom said she told her, have him free, take him. Can you imagine? Wow. So what am I saying? It's not a bad thing to try and find out more, because if a man is in his 40s, 50s, and is not married, you should be asking why. Yeah. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm not putting judgment on that.
But it's just right to ask why.
Exactly. Because most people from age 20-something, okay, let's just say 30 for men, maybe. What was the age that you felt that you were ready for marriage? Because I know it's rising now, for the responsibility of being in a secure relationship.
I mean, had I known then, it would have been 30. Okay. I was in my, mid-20s.
Okay. So let's just say 30, you started working and everything and so on. Then you are 40, you are 50, and you still not married, or you've been in and out of different relationships. You are not in a secure relationship, and you are ready to marry, and you are love bombing somebody. You are giving attention. Should that woman be concerned, or should she just think he's got money? Because a lot of celebrities are in that situation where they get love bombed by a particular, celebrity, and they just think he's nice. In their own case, it might not even be sickness. It might just be that he's a narcissist. Anyone that's love bombing you too quickly in a relationship, red flag to me.
So when you say too quickly, what's the term?
I'd say if somebody is showering you with gift, and I know we've had this discussion before, and you said he might just want to be putting his best foot forward. If he's giving you too much gifts in the first month of your relationship, that's excessive.
Yeah, but too much is relative, though.
Yes, too much in terms of what overwhelming you. If it's overwhelming you as a person, and it could be that it's like a dozen roses every day, it's possible, because you are trying to show your affection. Giving you money within 1 month, giving you plenty money. I know that some women feel, oh, that's exactly what they're looking for. Is that not a red flag?
If you do, they will say you're overdoing. If you don't do, they will say you're not doing.
Yeah, but we're looking at it in the context of potentially is that person trying to hide something? Because how do you develop a relationship? Is it only gifts? We talked about love languages before, and we know that gifts is one of them. But excessive giving, excessive clinging becomes a red flag for other things.
I understand where you're coming from, and I can think of someone that was just his nature to give. His nature was just to, you know what, I love this lady, so I'm just going to, you know, my way of showing my love is to give. And you know,
did they end up together?
No, because she took it for granted.
Yeah. Yes, and in this scenario, because we're talking about hospice wife, we're talking about it in the context of, should it be a red flag if someone is giving you too much, and what is it that the other person is trying to mask? Because in reality, you build a relationship. It doesn't happen overnight. And I'm not saying that people can't get married within a short period of time, but just make sure that you've done your due diligence, so you don't become a victim of this hospice wife, where a man is masking his ill health, or you know.
It doesn't even have to be ill health. It could actually even be his esteem. It could have low self-esteem,
or his body parts are not working properly.
Yeah, it could be.
And that's another thing, ladies. And this might feed into Babashola's way of thinking. You know, we talked about, should you live together before you marry? There's a group of men, and these are all things that I'm sharing because I think you should look out for it, because we all know in parts. So what you know, let us share as well. They say no, they believe in no sex before marriage, and you are so happy about that because you don't want to have sex before marriage. You want to be, celibate before you marry. Then you marry them, finish, my people. You find that the body parts are not working. Hence, another reason why they were love bombing you, because they knew their body parts were not working. So you have to do your due diligence.
But that will be found out eventually, though.
Yeah, but it's too late. You've had your big wedding and you are married. You understand? That's grounds for divorce, because that's deception. So do your due diligence. Don't be in a hurry. I'd rather I be single, be single and sound, which is one of the topics we'll talk further. Single and sound.
Okay, so let me look at it from another point. So if a woman that finds herself in that position doesn't mind to be a hospice wife, is there anything wrong with that?
No, but with knowledge. Like we said, everything is with knowledge. They don't mind, but the thing is, did you go into the relationship to be a carer? When I say carer, I mean like to take care of them in that way. Okay. It's all about transparency. That's what I'm dealing with. Of course, you can be in a monogamous relationship where you are together from how you and your husband, your wife has been 20-something years of marriage, and then one of you develop a health challenge later on. There are people I know, you take care of, you married for better or for worse, although now people are doing prenup. So it's for better, if certain conditions are checking out. We're making exceptions, but if you've been together all along, you have enjoyed the good, the extraordinary, and now you are dealing with the bad. But to marry within 1 year, you are dealing with that, unless it's a freak of nature that just happened, like it can.
And again, if
deception.
If the woman found herself in that position and knows that, you know what, at the end of the day, I've got dosh. If this guy passes on, I'm young, I can always move on to another person. And for the few years I've got with him, there's plenty of money.
That's a different scenario altogether, because that is a younger woman deciding to marry an older man, which most of us say, oh, she's a gold digger. She's a gold digger. But she's aware, and the man is aware. But this is the older woman we're talking about, maybe in her 40s, her 50s. Do you see what I mean? Because she's looking like this is a good match. Relating with somebody of my age. So these are the kind of complexities. I just want us to encourage one another to do our due diligence. I don't have issue with an older woman marrying a younger man, for example. It depends on the age.
Of course.
If you're in the same genre, same generation, why not? I don't have a problem with a younger woman marrying an older man. It's the transparency we're talking about. The ulterior motive, the selfish motive that I want somebody that will look after me, but I might not be able to meet their needs, because they're gonna have needs too. You can always buy in the services of additional care. But if you cannot be serviced in the way that you need to be serviced because of deception, beware. Let's have your thoughts. Have you heard of the term before? One of our viewers brought it to our attention. It may be more of a diaspora concept. People who are living in diaspora. I mean, in our African context, our own backgrounds, there's a very famous family that the man has more than one wife. He had a main wife. And then the younger one now actually is the one that is ruling the family. And there's maybe about 35 to 37 year gap between them. And she loves her husband.
Yes.
They've been married for about 25 years. Yes. They have children and empire and all that. But let's have your thoughts. She's coming from a less privileged family, and the older man, and the man loves her. But is it a diaspora thing? Is it something you've heard about? Let's have your comments and thoughts.
Hospice wife. Thank you for joining us.
Babashola today.
Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Yeah.